TLM Practice Examination 2. First 10 questions, as before, are worth 1 mark each because they're multiple choice. Using information technology can improve productivity by... Pause the video, write down your answer. The answer is B. Supports the sharing of documents. So it's nothing to do with money, it's nothing to do with less interesting, it's nothing to do with licensing. It's to make sharing of documents, things like wikis, easier to do. Question number 2. Web-based applications are applications that... Pause the video, write down your answers. The answer is C. They run in a web browser, so something like Safari or Internet Explorer or Chrome. Question number 3. It is bad practice to collect data in a word processor because... Pause the video, write down your answers. Answer is A. It's the wrong tool for the job. You shouldn't be collecting data in a word processor. You should be doing that in a database or a spreadsheet. Question number 4. When planning IT tasks, plans should typically be... Pause the video, write down your answer. The answer is D. Smart targets. So they're specific, measurable, attainable, relevant and time limited. Answer D. It's the best way to get a lot of information to as many people as at once on a regular basis, so something that can be updated. Pause the video, write down your answer. Answer is D, something like Facebook or Instagram. Great, it's a website, publicise a link to friends on social media. Great way of getting information out on a regular basis. Question number 6. You receive a message ending LOL. What does LOL mean? Pause the video, write down your answer. The answer is A, laugh out loud. Question 7. Formal writing is essential when doing what? Pause the video, write down your answer. The answer is C, writing a job application. You want it to be formal and accurate. You don't want to be using slang terms in a job application. You want to impress the reader. Question number 8, a file extension. So that's dot something something something, usually 3 or 4 letters. Why do you have a file extension? So for example .jpeg or .doc or .xls. Pause the video, write down your answer. The answer is C, so that when you double click on it the computer knows what software program to open to load the file. Question number 9. A friend suggests you zip a movie file to compress it to send it by email. This is... Pause the video and write down your answer. The answer is B. It's a good idea because every bit of compression will help reduce the file size. So if you compress it, make it smaller, it's going to be easier to send via email, via the internet. It'll be quicker, and also sometimes you get limits on file size in email inboxes. Last multiple choice question, number 10. A virus is a type of what? Pause the video, write down your answer. The answer is malware, so it's designed to do some kind of damage to your computer. Mal is French for sick, so it makes your computer sick. Sick in a bad way, not in a good way. An audio recording is made using an application that can produce .wav and .mp3 files. What's the difference between a .wav and an mp3 file? Just for 1 mark. Pause the video, write down your answer. MP3 files are compressed, so that means that they're made smaller, whereas WAV files are the full file. So WAV files actually are better quality than MP3 files. The patent for an MP3 file format is owned by a commercial company. So in other words, what a patent is they own MP3 files, or rather they have control over MP3 files. How might a patent affect how MP3 files can be legally used? So they have some control over how they're used. 1 mark. Pause the video, write down your answer. So it puts restrictions on how it might be used. So say, for example, stop somebody changing them or something like that. You can use the MP3 file, but it's going to restrict it in some way. Maybe you can't edit it or change the MP3 file. Might be a good example of how it's restricted in some way. Question number 3. .ogg files are audio files similar to MP3 and described as open, royalty-free, patent-free, standard, open source software. What would be the advantages of OGG to MP3 files, something that's open source? Pause the video, write down your answer. So, something that's open source means that lots of people can use it. You can use it for free and people can develop it so people can make it better. So say, for example, mods on computers are a great example of this, where you can modify some software and other people can mod it further. So encourage people like you and I to mod and develop software. And there's not going to be no fines or legal actions because it's completely free. So encourage lots of people to use it, lots of people to develop it, change it, edit it, make it better, safe, and it's also free, so you're not going to be fined. There's no software licenses. Question number 14. Given that OGG files have the advantage described in question 13 that MP3 and OGG files are similar in quality, give a reason why MP3 files are seen everywhere whereas OGG files are far less common. Doesn't seem to make sense. Pause the video, write down your answer. And the answer is that big companies, Microsoft and Apple, promote MP3, so they're an accepted sort of file format. They're more well known, so through advertising they're more well known and more likely to be used. Simple as that. Question 15. A virus is a special type of computer program. Give one property of a virus that makes it different from a computer program such as word processor or web browsers. 1 mark. Pause the video, write down your answer. So a virus causes harm. It copies itself across machines, so when you download it, it'll copy itself onto your machine and then pass it onto another machine. So copies itself onto other machines and causes harm. Question number 16. Smartphones have touch screens to control them. Give 2 advantages of setting the screen to low brightness when working indoors. 2 marks. Pause the video, write down your answer. Saves battery power is the obvious one. It's not as bright indoors, so a lower setting the image stops the image in washing out. But the other one that's quite interesting is that it stops a flickering effect. When you have it on full screen, the screen flickers and can actually sort of be a health and safety issue for your eyes. Question number 17. Why might I set public permissions for a web page on my website? So allow anybody to do anything to my website or download from it. Pause the video, write down your answer. And the answer is to allow more people to see the information. So nothing's hidden on there. So and you can download any files from it. So maybe it's an advert and you want people to be able to browse through all pages on your website and see all the information that's available. But also download files if that's something that they can do. Maybe it's advertising a website for a pub or a restaurant, and you need to download the menu and have a look through all of the web pages so that you can see pictures, galleries, information, contact information, opening times, all that kind of thing. Question 18. I decide to write a book and a friend suggests that I use an online publisher because they'll publish the book to a professional standard with its own book number called an ISBN number for free. Great. What costs are involved in giving a copy of my book to my family and friends, therefore? So if it's completely free, what are the hidden costs? 2 marks. Pause the video, write down your answer. So the hosting company might decide someone might request it in print, so they might charge to print and put the book together and mail the email book out to people. So if I said I wanted a copy in print, that's going to cost, and if I wanted it to be mailed out to me, there might be some cost to provide an email copy of the book for me. Or if I want to download it as a PDF, which is a common open source file format for downloading and reading text, there might be a charge for that. Question 19. Why is it a bad idea to set your email to automatically send replies such as I'm out of the office if you subscribe to a mailing list? Pause the video, write down your answer. And the answer is it goes to all people on the list and probably annoy them. So when you say I'm out of the office and you subscribe to a mailing list, then anybody in your contact mailing list, maybe you'll have lots of people, it will send that email message out to everybody at the same time. Bad netiquette means it's just not very polite over the internet to do that. Question number 20. What is spam email? 1 mark. Pause the video, write down your answers. So this is usually sales email. It's usually a company wanting you to buy something, and what they do is they just send out a mail shot. They just send random emails out to lots of randomly generated email addresses in the hope that it gets out to some people and that therefore you read it. You didn't ask for it. Sales email that you didn't ask for. Question 21. Explain why websites saying the design for a particular web browser should be avoided. So if it says it will only open in Chrome, or it will only open in Safari, or it will only open in Internet Explorer version 11 or something, why should that be avoided? 2 marks. Pause the video, write down your answer. Because you need specialist software. You need that particular browser to make it work. If you haven't got that browser, it's not going to work. If it says it only opens in Chrome and you've not got Chrome on your computer, it's not going to work. And it doesn't encourage free and open exchange of information. So the more browsers that will open up it will open on all browsers, then it's going to allow that piece of information to get out to a wider audience. Question 22. An example of synchronous communication is 2 people having a telephone conversation, so where 2 people can communicate at the same time. Give an example of asynchronous communication, so that's where only one person can communicate with the other person at one time, and then you have to wait for the other person to then communicate back. In other words, you can't sort of butt into the conversation. They can't hear you or communicate with you at the same time. Pause the video, write down your answer. So an example might be sending an email message. So you send an email, they accept it, and they reply to it. Question 23. You get talking to someone your own age in a social networking group who wants to meet up because you're both interested in the same things and they live close to. Explain what actions you might take as a result of their request to meet. 3 marks. Pause the video, write down your answer. Don't communicate with them. You don't really know if their request is genuine or they say here they are. Tell a teacher or parent, and if you do meet, take someone along with you and meet in a public place.